Hello and welcome to the next round of the WMC rather. We are here in Vancouver, Canada. It has been a bit damp during practice. The weather forecast seems to say we might be expecting that in qualifying as well. So let's have it. Yeah, we will towards the end. So you'd expect people are going to have to put out a good lap now. Rafa Azevedo goes purple, 2 purples, 3 for him. Paceman goes first. Tarasova goes first. You would assume this is going to be their final order because the water's out on track now. People are switching over to intermediates. Here we go. I mean, it's possible they'll be able to go faster, but it sounds unlikely. Yeah, that's it. They're gonna retain this final finishing position. Interesting. Okay, so that's Tarasova in first, Havana Eriksson in second, Martti Pessanen in third, Rafa Azevedo in fourth, Hit Singh fifth, Zach Lucas sixth, Britta Pallison seventh, Naomi Klein eighth, Ayn Maglic ninth, and De Toro 10th. Markovic nowhere to be seen, interestingly enough, which will probably be a little bit disappointing for him there, I think. And here we are in the race, here in Vancouver. So we did have that little burst of shower during the qualifying, but it looks like we're not going to see rain until later on in this race. Yeah, there you go, towards the end. Tarasova in first. She gets a terrible start, an awful start from her and Paceman. Eriksson, oh, she's gone wide! She's gone wide! She's gone wide! She rejoins in 20th position! What a mistake from Tarasova! Oh my god! What a mistake! That's terrible! She got an awful start and then compounded it with a terrible first corner. She went completely wide. Up at the front, Eriksson is in the first, Rafa Azevedo in second, De Toro is up to third, Lucas in fourth, Nishimura fifth. What on earth is happening? It's completely turned upside down within the first lap. Singh is in fifth. Braun Cocktail's only hope, you'd imagine, is A, a recovery drive from Tarasova, and B, a really strong showing from Naomi Klein as she moves up to fifth to take away points from the championship rivals. If it were to end like this, Rafa Azevedo would take a massive lead in the Drivers' Championship standings with 4 races remaining. Well, what a disastrous start for Ina Tarasova, who's... Well, I mean, this one wasn't bad luck, really. This was just lack of skill. She just bogged down on the start line and then compounded it with a terrible dive straight off the track. Completely missed her braking point, trying to catch up with Eriksson and Rafa Azevedo. Martti Paceman, of course, also bogged down on the start, but it's a measure of his experience that he managed to keep it calm, retake a couple of positions during the ensuing melee that resulted from Tarasova being overtaken, and maintain 7th position. That is how you retain points despite a terrible start. Really good stuff from the veteran Finn. But what a disastrous one for Ina Tarasova, who is just now getting back in touch with Giles here. And now she's on the Ultrasoft. She'll want to just scythe through this field as quickly as possible. And look at that, she's deploying a bit of the extra power there. But she can't get past him. Maybe she's a little bit rattled. Maybe her tyres are already a bit cooked from the trip onto the gravel. That is absolutely disastrous for Braun Cocktail there. She finally manages to make it around Giles. But what a terrible result. Nishimura up to 7th, meanwhile, takes Paceman. Wow. High drama here in Canada. Meanwhile, we can see ahead of us a little fight here for 4th place. Naomi Klein is holding off Hit Singh and Zach Lucas, who are themselves battling each other. They both try and out or break each other, but Naomi Klein is happy to watch them battle as she tries to pull out a bit of a lead here on her super soft tyres, which are the medium tyres of our set. Today we have ultra softs, super softs, and normal soft tyres from softest to hardest compounds. Look at Lucas and Singh here, absolutely battling side by side for most of a lap. Oh, brilliant! Singh comes back at him through the hairpin, and now Lucas is going to have the run at Singh, and he's Oh, nearly got him. Nearly got him. Get him under braking. Oh, he goes a bit wide, but he recovers. Great driving there from Zach Lucas, holding off Nishimura, who is on the soft tyres. Now, this is particularly interesting as we see Lucas battling with Singh even more. Because you wonder whether Araujo Azevedo would be happy to maintain this second place and let Ericsson get away from him so long as he can finish the race like this and expand that gap that he currently has with Inna Tarasova. And here we go. The first round of pit stops look like they're kicking in. Havana Ericsson, is she going to stay out? Her tyre's looking reasonably good spec. She is. A little brave. I think these Ultrasoft do tend to burn out quite quickly. When they go off a cliff. Araujo Azevedo goes straight back onto Ultrasofts. He wants to maintain his pace. Havana Ericsson is in first. Zach Decarius de Toro doing extremely well in these super softs. We haven't seen too much of him this year, despite his levels of talent, which are indisputable. He now takes first, ahead of Naomi Klein and Aid Maglic. Really, Araujo Azevedo's biggest issue is that he doesn't have as reliable a point-scoring teammate as his competitors Tarasova and Maglic slash Markovic do. In the case of Kernow Crazy Cars, sometimes they take points off each other, but Naomi Klein has been a consistent presence in the top 10 or so, taking points off the others. One of the most capable number 2 drivers in the entire field, though I'm sure she wouldn't be happy with me calling her that. Aid Maglic has been overtaken by Nishimura there. Nishimura's pitting despite being on softs. Surprising, I would have kept him out on that, to be honest. But we will see what he goes on to. They're going to chuck him onto Ultrasoft, so clearly want to get a bit more pace out of Nishimura. He rejoins in a cluster of cars there. Yeah, Aid Maglic comes out just behind Tarasova as well, but he does have newer tyres. Tarasova doing extremely creditably. She's up in 13th, despite her absolutely horrendous start. So it's going to be quite interesting to see what she manages from here. If she can find even a few points, and if Araujo Azevedo doesn't win, she could almost consider it a bit of a victory, despite... Oh, look at that. Brilliant move up the inside. Saw the opportunity and took it. Tarasova still is one of the best drivers in this entire championship. She's so difficult to beat on track. You have to hope she makes mistakes like she did in this race in order to do it. She goes up the inside as well. Look at that. Brilliant. Can she get the traction down? Not quite. Nishimura's going to outdrag her on the straight, but the Braun Cocktail car does have an impressive top speed. The two Kernow Crazy Cars drivers behind her battling. It looks like Maglic trying to send it up the inside. Markovic marking him. Look at this. Britta Pallison leads this group of 5 cars. They are nose to tail through the turn complex. Nishimura looking out the outside. That puts him out of shape. Tarasova takes advantage. Tarasova goes up the inside. Tarasova now looking to chase down Britta Pallison. Down the outside. Is she going to get it? No, she isn't. Pallison blocks her off. Pallison blocks her off. But Tarasova's going to try again. She pulls up alongside. Going to try and get her under braking. Doesn't manage it. Pallison doing a great job defensively here. Holding off the current leader of the World Drivers' Championship. Tarasova still hunting down Pallison. If she can clear her, she's then got a couple of seconds worth of clean air to Zach Lucas. But Tarasova has older tyres than Pallison. Only slightly older, but older nonetheless. Behind her, Nishimura is holding up the two Kernow Crazy Cars drivers. Wow, this is high drama. The kind of stuff you only get when the person who qualifies in first absolutely messes it up first corner. She's going to go for the inside. She's down the inside. She just didn't have the extra grip to make it stick, unfortunately. Britta Pallison driving fantastically here. as we have seen her do in fits and spurts throughout this championship. Meanwhile, Nishimura finally gives up a place to Markovic. And Maglic also looking a little feisty down the inside. Gonna get him there. Nishimura drops back a bit, but he comes back through the next corner. Maglic has the inside, but Nishimura's going to have the inside for the second part of the complex. Maglic is going to keep it. Look at this. This is great driving around the outside from Nishimura, though, to even keep his car in contact with Maglic. Oh, they touched there a bit, I think. A little bit. Meanwhile, Araujo Azevedo has pitted, as has Singh, as has Ericsson. Our leaders have pitted. Araujo Azevedo comes back out on old Ultra Softs, which maybe all Start and Park Racing has available, but that might be enough to take him through to the wet period we're going to have, which is about maybe 5 or 6 laps away. De Toro takes a lead meanwhile. Ericsson went on to the super soft tyres, which you would assume she'll be caning around as hard as possible, because, I mean, ideally she would have wanted ultra softs there. De Toro in first. This is not something we would have seen coming into the Klein in second. Klein again proving such a valuable resource for Braun Cocktail here. You know, whenever Tarasova falters, Klein is there to pick up at least a decent amount of points. The Live Drivers' Championship standings have Marcos Araujo Azevedo only, well, there you go, 10 points ahead now as he picks up a place. The Team Championship is also interesting because the gap closes a little bit if Brit stays like this for Braun Cocktail. Look at the mini tyre history here. A handful of drivers have taken 3 stops, Araujo Azevedo amongst them. Araujo Azevedo in quite a good position here in 7th. Because those ultra softs should last him, you would hope, until the wets come on, and everyone else is probably going to have to stop before then, you would imagine, apart from Ericsson, Payson, Tarasova, and Barnes, and Singh probably. Yeah, let's have a look at what's happening with Araujo Azevedo here. He's currently in 5th and under pressure a bit from Ide Maglic. Oh, good move up the inside of Nishimura though. Here we go. It's a drag race. Araujo Azevedo has a bit more speed and he's just going to push Nishimura out. Nishimura now battling again with a Kernel Crazy Cars machine. Oh, and he manages to hold it. Great racing from Nishimura here today. Araujo Azevedo in 4th. Araujo Azevedo in 4th and with a tyre advantage over pretty much everyone. Although he is 12 seconds back from Zacarias de Toro here, who is driving magnificently. You know, we're not looking at him too much, but that's mostly because he's driving so well. There's not much to talk about, really. Araujo Azevedo goes into 2nd as Klein and Morel both pit. I wonder if they're going on to intermediates. They are going on to intermediates a little bit early, but it makes more sense as we have a triple mistake from the CasChat Racing pit crew. It makes more sense going onto wet tyres or intermediate tyres too early than going onto them too late. Naomi Klein, we'll watch her. We'll watch her drop back. Look at her time. Look at how much time she's losing being on those intermediates. Pessinen's behind her on the super softs, and look at him slowly hunt her down. We'll put it on the ×2 speed, and he's got so much more drive coming out of these corners. Klein doing her best. Her level best to defend her place and doing quite well. Meanwhile, De Toro comes into the pits for intermediates. Pessinen gets past Klein, but very soon, it might be another lap or 2 before those intermediates start coming back at Klein. It's a bit of a tactical misstep by Braun Cocktail. Klein, who's driven her heart out, again being shafted by her team and team principal, the Sully. Look at this. Look, she can't compete. There's nothing she can do. She just can't. There's Zach Lucas shoving it down the inside and saying, thank you very much, I'll take that. Araujo Azevedo coming towards the pits. He has timed this absolutely perfectly. He's going to come in, he's going to go on to intermediates just as the first raindrops start falling. Araujo Azevedo is in the pits. Singh is staying out for some fucking reason. Tarasova staying out. Tarasova coming in. De Toro will retake first position, you would imagine, on his intermediates. He has also timed this very well. There you go, he's now in 3rd. Virtual first place, considering the opposition around him. See, Payson still has a bit of a run on him with those dry tyres because it isn't damp enough yet. But the longer this goes on, the more De Toro will find this to his advantage. With Singh and Ericsson and Payson all having to stop, De Toro, look at that, in the space of about, I don't know, one back straight, De Toro is already starting to come back at Payson, and here we go. De Toro, oh lord, he hunting, look at him go. Payson is going to dive into the pit, surely, before he loses any more time. Surely he will. He can't stay out on this. He's a great wet weather driver. But yeah, there you go. De Toro now in second place. De Toro now in first place. Araujo Azevedo in second. Klein in third. Those intermediates worked out for her after all. She may have lost some time, but she is now on the correct tire. Although, I wonder, she's already burned through so much of them. I wonder if she'll have to take another set of intermediates before the end. Hate Singh, managing very well, is now on a fresh set of intermediates. So he timed that very well as well. Luke McKenzie, a fantastic intermediate weather driver, is now in fourth. So a great result for Start and Park Racing if it stays like this. Quite interesting seeing the difference here between Luke McKenzie, who is a notably good driver in interchangeable conditions, with Hate Singh, who we all know really doesn't like this kind of greasy, semi-damp conditions that you get from light rain. So it is quite interesting to see that he's keeping up. But McKenzie on much older tyres, really beautifully smooth style. Luke McKenzie, really an asset to any team that wants a driver that can give you good feedback and look after the tyres. Zacarias De Toro in first. Araujo Azevedo with the luxury of allowing this person who isn't competing for a championship to be in first. I'm sure he will, as the race wears on, he will want to reel him back in and maybe go for first if he can in a safe fashion. But he doesn't have to risk anything. As the Drivers' Championship stands, he's 14 points clear of Inna Tarasova. And we'll have to see. Yeah, interestingly enough, Hate Singh consolidating his fourth place in the championship as things stand. As for the Teams Championship, Kernow Crazy Cars getting, well, yeah, getting nothing, really. They're both out of the points. That previously insurmountable looking lead is already looking a little bit shaky. It would be a disaster if they got 0 points here. Hate Singh up to fourth on a good move on Luke McKenzie there. Fair play to him. Hate Singh absolutely driving the tyres off his car right now in conditions that he really is not happy with generally. Luke McKenzie making those tyres last with his beautifully smooth driving style, reminiscent a bit perhaps of a Jenson Button or the like. De Toro still in first. Araujo Azevedo 3 seconds off him, but happy to sit outside of the dirty air. Happy to sit and wait as Klein with a fantastic recovery drive so far. Really brilliant stuff from her in third. Tarasova has battled her way back to sixth. A massively impressive performance from Tarasova after that horror start. If she can, she's 3 seconds off McKenzie now. If she can take him, she will also be in close proximity to Singh. And I really wouldn't bet against her the way Tarasova is still such a fantastic driver in these, in these conditions or indeed any other, really. Let's have a look back at Araujo Azevedo now as he laps behind Zacarias De Toro. Cut the gap to under 3 seconds. Naomi Klein is going to have to pit, you would think. She's going to have to pit. And to be honest, that one's on her team and not her. She did all she could. She's driven fantastically well today, but when the team's going to put you on intermediate tyres that will get chewed through on a dry track for 3 solid laps, there's not much you can do, and she's now at odds with the rest of the field. Yeah, it's interesting to see Singh and McKenzie. Singh now gapping McKenzie a bit, and Tarasova now on his tail. Now on the tail of the Scotsman. It's just, it feels inevitable at times when Inna Tarasova is hunting down another driver on track. She likes them vulnerable. And as she catches him slowly round the grandstands, the crowd cheer. Aaron Barnes runs wide and is now fallen to 20th in his eternal battle with Giles back there. Fair play to Mackenzie here. His wet weather ability is really showing up. Oh, look, there goes Naomi Klein having to pit. So everyone shuffles up one, apart from Araujo Azevedo and De Toro. I wonder if De Toro is going to have to pit. I don't think he will, but those tyres are looking old. I wonder if Araujo Azevedo senses this and reckons he can get him. That gap is down to 2.5 seconds. It's holding steady so far. De Toro, of course, wonderfully gifted. But Vinko Markovic ran wide in the meantime and is now down in 14th. Vinko Markovic woefully out of form at the moment. Araujo Azevedo looks content to sit back and leave De Toro to it, I think. De Toro looking for his maiden victory here. Let's see, Hates-Sing. Fantastic drive for him in third at the moment. Luke Mackenzie. Oh, is that Tarasova? Tarasova's being overtaken by Ericsson. Ericsson's got Tarasova. Out of nowhere. The Swede overtakes Tarasova. Oh, a brilliant move. The newly recovered Havana Ericsson really displaying her prowess on track here. She won't have enough time to take Mackenzie as De Toro crosses the start-finish line to win. Araujo Azevedo in second, Singh in third, Mackenzie fourth, Ericsson in fifth, Tarasova sixth, Veronique Morel in seventh, Nishimura eighth, Payson in ninth, and Marco Forst, of all people, in 10th. What a drama-filled race that was from the very first corner. Fantastic to watch. And fair play to Zacarias De Toro picking up a win in tricky conditions. He and his team played the tyre choices to perfection. Well done to him. And that's it. There's your race. So, we'll have a look at the Drivers' Championship standings shortly, along with the Constructors. There you are, look at that. Fantastic race from De Toro. Brilliant race from Luke Mackenzie as well. And Veronique Morel, it must be said. In a Tarasova, honestly, the fact that she only lost 5 places after that disastrous start is testament to her ability. But Marcos Araujo Azevedo will be the happier of the two drivers there. He is now 14 points clear. Vinko Markovic with a very, very disappointing day for Chrono Crazy Cars. Now 26 points back. Not out of touch yet, but close to it. Hates-Sing in 4th in the championship. Kernow Crazy Cars with a gap of 35 to Start & Park Racing, who have overtaken Braun Cocktail. Start & Park Racing in 2nd now. Very interesting. I wonder how this will play out for the rest of the season. So, fair play to that. We will see you at the next race, which I believe is Singapore.